Go ahead and talk to Robin in California, where the radiation's at least 5 times the regular level, and the government says that's not a big deal. So breathe deeply. Robin, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, Alex. I just want to tell you I love your show.
Thank you.
I've been listening to you since 2008 when everything started going downhill. Got unemployed, and anyway, I just want to thank you for talking about all these things. Nobody else does.
Well, absolutely. God bless you. We're just doing our job, following our mission to try to wake up humanity, but thank you.
And I do pray for you and your family. Just want to let you know that.
Thank you. We need it.
Also, I do have a question about your fluoride shield product. I just bought that, but I've already bought the survival shield. Do you take both, or do you just take one or the other?
You need to check with your physician, but it's been developed where it doesn't have a lot of the iodine in the other. So Dr. Group says it can be taken together, but it does have the Shilajit and then 4 other things along with the iodine, so 6. So you may have some detoxing effects taking the 2. So consult your physician. But, I mean, it's all at recommended FDA dosages. So, you know, to each your own. But, I mean, too much of anything could be a problem.
Yeah. Well, anyway, just thank you so much, Alex, for everything you do.
No, ma'am. Thank you for your support. You know, we just try to promote and fund ourselves with things that we use and we think are good. I mean, it's real simple. If I find a fluoride filter that's the best quality and has the best specs, I sell it. And I use it. I mean, if I discover a form of nascent iodine that my advisors say is the best and I have great effects with, I buy it up and promote it. I mean, that's free market. And thank you for your support, Robin. Let's go to Drew in Oregon. Drew, thanks for holding. You're on the air.
Hey, Alex. Thanks for having me on. This is Drew from Double Cross Radio on UCY.TV, and I'm also an admin for FUKUSHIMAFacts.com. And I'm over here in Southern Oregon, also known as the state of Jefferson. And I've been monitoring the Fukushima situation since March 2011. And got several Geiger counters. And we were looking at about typical background radiation of between 6 and 16 CPM. Now our background radiation is usually around 38 to 42 CPM. And we're starting to see the effects of this contamination making its way up the food chain. If you get on some of these hunter and fisher forums, some of these hunters and fishermen are posting some really weird pictures and videos up there of like salmon and steelhead caught in the Pacific
Absolutely.
Northwest.
I've seen your site. It's excellent. Maybe we should interview you while we're there, but they're going to be moving so quick, they'll have to meet somebody at a certain spot on Highway 1 for 30 minutes to interview you and then move on. But send all your intel to showtips at Infowars.com. The photos of the fish. Folks out on the West Coast, take pictures of everything. You are the HUMET. You are the intel. You are the human intelligence. And it's the people, the citizen journalist that still have the instinct to survive and tell the truth that are making the corporate prostitute, state-run Decepticon media report on this. Go ahead.
Yes. And so we're also seeing things like Roosevelt elk with mutated antlers. And, that was an elk that was shot in Oregon. And that was the first time that I'd heard of a report like this. In 2011, I interviewed a worker from Hanford up there in Washington, and he's involved in nuclear waste disposal, and they do routine checkups on those guys. And this guy had reported to me that he had tested positive for having cesium-137 in his body. They had to research it, and it had the Chernobyl fingerprint on it. And they traced.
You know what? I want to get you on as a guest. Get his contact info, guys. I want to go like half the time now, Fukushima. Because, by the way, the new waves are hitting us, and it's not just Fukushima. They don't care about plants melting down now. They just love it. Just leaking, radiating. Oh, it's fun. Introducing Pro One. All of your filtration in one system, portable, on the go. No more do you have 2 or 3 filters to just reduce sodium fluoride. You have a system that cuts out the sodium fluoride and up to 95% of hydrofluorosilicic acid. Advanced manufacturing technology combines silver-impregnated white ceramic with new Aquamedics advanced media for removal of fluoride and other heavy metals, all in one filter element. It is the only one that does it, and out of the gates, we have it discounted at 10% off with promo code WATER. This is the only system that in one unit helps reduce or remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, ammonia, and chlorine, hydrofluorosilicic acid, the most common form of fluoride not covered by other fluoride filter brands, and sodium hexafluorosilicate. Get your Pro Pure with the new Pro One filter today at InfoWarsStore.com or by calling 888-253-3139. We are facing an emergency situation with radiation levels in Japan and now with the new wave of radiation hitting the West Coast. And on this Monday, the 6th day of January 2014, we have a decision to make as citizens, not just of the United States, but citizens of planet Earth, on whether we're going to let the psychopaths and the control freaks and the nihilists that are running things continue to endanger the entire planet while posing as the planet's savior, trying to tax and control carbon dioxide so they can regulate all human activity, while 91% of nuclear reactors worldwide in a UN study last year are leaking. While troops for 25 years have been using depleted uranium, which they had since the end of World War II, but wouldn't let the military use because it's a death sentence to whoever fires it, because the round catches on fire and you get a heavy dose of the poisonous radioactive garbage. Here's the headline. Fukushima radioactive wave has already hit California. The radiation's up 5-fold the normal background radiation on average. The county health department went out there, and I have the article here in my stack. And when they got there, they found the same levels and admit it, but say they don't know if it's coming from Fukushima. Well, they better find out where it's coming from. It's obviously coming from Fukushima. Fox News reported, along with the Spanish government, in November of last year, that the main waves of radiation from the ongoing leaks were set to arrive in early January. It's now happening. Here's another headline. Health officials, no concern over 500% increase in radiation levels. And there have been a lot of people since March 3 years ago who have been following this. And there was a first initial wave in the air of hot particles and radiation and increased radiation in milk and vegetables that grow on the surface where it bioaccumulates in the fallout. Now the fish, the starfish, are almost all dying. It's all over the news, but not why they're dying. The sea lions are dying. The currents come right off Fukushima, right around, up around North America, all the way up to Alaska. Whether you live in Alaska, Canada, the west coast of the U.S., or northern Mexico, you're getting hammered by an ongoing 5-reactor meltdown where they're just spraying ocean water on it in that wrecked site that runs right into the ocean. And it is getting incredibly serious. This is, I got to say, 100 times worse. Some of this stuff has, billion-year half-lives or more. They had a plutonium reactor that blew sky high. Plutonium. We're not talking about just uranium. This is incredible. And so we as a culture and a society need to get these articles from Infowars.com. We'll click on it and show you the top right-hand corner of DrudgeReport.com. We need to get this article, our article, that links to the local newspaper where they interview the head of the health department, the head of the environmental section of the health department, going, oh, yeah, it is 5 times, exactly what citizen YouTube videos are showing. 5 times the regular level. From a 14 up to 150 and on up. Some people are getting 400s. And, folks, you stay around that for months, you're talking serious health effects from all the physicists that we've interviewed. Chemical physicist, nuclear physicist, And they're using radiation levels. You know, they're saying this is safe unless you have long-term exposure that are acceptable limits for people that work in nuclear power plants, not children and others with fast-growing cells. This is really bad news. And it's the response of these videos being out for weeks that the radiation had already gone up, but now it's skyrocketing, and no one is even covering this but Infowars.com and DrudgeReport.com and PrisonPlanet.com. There have been a lot of citizen journalists, activist groups, folks out there that have been doing a great job, you know, when it went from 14 to 30 and then 60. Now it's 150, 200, 300, 400. Now the animals are dying. And the establishment, they're not going in the water. So you've got major physicists saying Japan might have to be evacuated. This is a real issue, ladies and gentlemen. The government last week quietly ordered 14 million dosages of potassium iodide. Now, I'm going to go back to your calls and let folks comment on this. Drew, Comedic Genius, and Rich, that's all we have time for with the calls in this overdrive. But I just want to recap here that the government's not telling you to get iodine. The government's not telling you to protect yourself. There's the headline. Top scientist. Another Fukushima quake would mean U.S. evacuation. Bye-bye, Japan. Award-winning scientist says another 7.0 earthquake hitting Fukushima would mean U.S. evacuations. Bye-bye, Japan. David Suzuki. Remember that a few months ago? And then the head of the Young Turks, who was an MSNBC host, said they were told to not talk about it, but hey, we're not sending reporters over there because it's a death sentence. I mean, this is a big deal, ladies and gentlemen. You got 5 of the 6 reactors that blew up, just sinking down into a swamp now on the edge of the ocean, with homeless people being paid below minimum wage, removing the rods. They touch one rod, they catch on fire and explode. It's a time bomb. And it should be the #1 issue. No, it's Al-Qaeda. We got to have armored vehicles and checkpoints and take your rights because of Al-Qaeda. We've got to spy on Congress because they might be with Al-Qaeda. Peter King said that. Trust no one and arrest everyone but me. Turns out him and John McCain are the 2 literally funding Al-Qaeda in Syria and other areas that go over there and meet with them. And there's articles out about that today. The biggest terrorism scaremonger are themselves the ones promoting terrorism. We're going into a worldwide depression. There's GMO spreading. The bees are dying everywhere. Radiation's exploding. And literally, you go to the airport and they act like they're looking for Al-Qaeda when they run the stinking radical Muslims out of Saudi Arabia, who it turns out is publicly bombing Russia right now because Russia won't hand Syria over to them. This is disgusting. Peter King is an absolute dirtbag. When is it enough of these con artists and their appeal to authority because he's a big pumpkin-headed congressman that we better spy on Congress and have no rights and get rid of everything? That's the illegitimate government trying to spy on the elected government. And as much as I don't like the crooks in Congress, they're the government. This is a coup d'etat in our face, and I've had enough. We've got breaking. Explosions, fire near Time Life building. Oh, I hope it's just a gas main or something. I hope that they don't stage some false flag. Let me tell you, they know this is breaking at Drudge. I'm serious. They don't want this coming out because they don't want you. They want to keep building new reactors, let them keep melting down. They don't want this story breaking now, getting out. You've got to make sure it gets out. Let's go back to Drew. Drew, tell folks about your excellent site again. I want to get you on as a guest, but and all the stuff you've been collating there, and any other key info. Go ahead.
Yeah, the website for more information is FUKUSHIMAFacts.com, and I'm an admin on there, as well as my producer, Jules, at UCY.tv, and she put that site
Okay,
up,
any other tidbits? Because I've followed the site some. Any other key info you want to give people?
Yeah, well, the worst part of this are the effects that I'm seeing around me with people that are close to me. I'm seeing friends and family members getting weird tumors, getting cancers. A friend of mine had to have his esophagus and his stomach removed. He lives down here in Southern Oregon. My cousin got a rare bladder cancer, had to have her entire bladder removed, and then they built her a new bladder.
Oh, I know. It's all off the chart. I mean, all the numbers. We were under plague warfare attack. Mm-hmm.
It's real.
Yeah, for those that don't know, the radioactive particles settle out in the kidneys and the bladder and the lungs, and that's what it hits, just like with the DU and the troops. We'll talk to you soon, Drew. All right, let's talk to Comedic Genius. Go ahead. You're monitoring the radiation from California, our ground zero. Go ahead.
Monterey Bay, one of your favorite places, Alex. I remember the last time I spoke with you, we was all about pointy toes and hands down the pants and man pig and all these other, we've moved on from there. Anyway.
Oh, you're talking about when I came out to speak and the city demanded they had police searching everyone to go in and see me?
I had tickets, but I wasn't at that one. That was with the InfoWars team out here.
Yeah.
But anyway, what I wanted to point out, information is what's very important at this point. I mean, you hear beeping? What that is my, I don't want to, like...
We're almost out of time, brother. Go ahead and make your point.
Okay, but anyway, I wanted to suggest this website, if you haven't mentioned it already, radiationnetwork.com.
Yes, it's excellent. I want to get their director on as well. They've got all the folks with the government, the university, and the private radiation monitors showing the levels.
But one other thing about that, see, like, for example, my instrument is a pancake instrument. It reads 3 times more counts per minute, and we have to calibrate our instrumentation and get listening stations like they're trying to do there, but make sure the information is consistent. Now, where I am here, my normal count per second is around, with the instrument 3 times normal, what a normal instrument would be, is around 30, and I haven't experienced this escalation that you've talked about, but I've seen the YouTube reports on it. Anyway, you're doing a great job, and I actually run a water policy nonprofit here, too, for many years, but dealing with another...
All right, great job, brother. Great job, Comedic Genius. Rich, take us out. Got 30, 40 seconds. Go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, Rich, go ahead.
Alex?
Yes, from California.
Oh, hi. I'm from Ben Lomond. It's you might say, a suburb of...
Fantastic. We only got 30 seconds.
Santa Cruz. What I wanted to say is you go out in the sun. I noticed this. You go out in the sun, and I've been out in the sun for 30 years. It feels like there's needles sticking in you, and it's quite. What it does is it's painful, but it just for 2 or 3 minutes you get very. It starts to itch, and it's quite noticeable. And,
there's all sorts of stuff in the atmosphere. The globalists are trying to kill the planet while posing as the savior. Sorry to have to cut you off, brother. We're out of time. Overdrive's over. Back tonight, 7 o'clock Central, InfoWars, Nightly News, PrisonPlanet.tv. Great job to the crew.
Now you can watch the InfoWars Nightly News streaming live as it happens for free.
Check it out at Infowars.com/show.